huge news.
She looks at you strange when you say this hoe.
As I was setting up
That's how rebellions work. Don't you know?
to go live, the trailer for the Saved by the Bell sequel show dropped. And I had to watch it 3 times. Which is more than I have seen.
Hope it's called.
It's just called Saved by the Bell.
I hope it's called "Where's Your Bell Now."
It's awesome because, as I said this many a time, I usually only watch half of trailers now. I can't be bothered watching the entire things. And Saved by the Bell, I watched the trailer 3 times. 3 times.
Is it bad that I've only ever seen 1 episode of Saved by the Bell?
Yeah, even Tarantino watches Saved by the Bell. You got to get on it.
Oh no!
I once watched those E-ranking shows. By the way, I'm James. That's Andrew and Brock, and they were talking about like guilty pleasure shows. And Tarantino's like, "Who doesn't watch Saved by the Bell? You just sit there and you watch it." And I'm like, "Yeah." And Aaron used to know Mr. Belding.
Death Haskins.
Yeah, so who's not in this trailer? It's basically this is like Mario Lopez was like, "How do I write a script for me to star in?" And that's what they've come up with. So good on him for doing that. How's everyone doing today?
Not too shabby. I'm better now that I've heard that news, because now I can finally catch up on my bell saving shenanigans.
You need to watch all of Saved by the Bell. Brock, how are you doing?
Oh, I saw that thing and I didn't watch it. So I was like, okay, things are coming out.
It's pretty. It's on the Peacock streaming network, which is the
Ooh,
NBC.
we all have that.
Which is the NBC streaming network. I guess this is their Mandalorian of shows. It's like Saved by the Bell is, but they're gonna have. I believe they'll have Friends and Seinfeld and The Office, and that's what they're gonna use. But Saved by the Bell sequel show is the show that they want to get you to spend however much money it is a month to get the Peacock streaming network.
Woo!
I'll wait for DVD.
Fun story, when at Celebration Chicago, the hotel that I stayed at was literally right across the street from the NBC tower. So I ate breakfast in that tower once, and I sadly sat there pretending I was an employee, even though it didn't matter. I was just in my head like, I work for NBC. But that was it. That's as far as the story goes. But I got to see the inside of the tower, and I was like, I'm sure a lot of bigwigs have walked through these revolving doors and taken that elevator that I'm not allowed to go near. It was cool.
I'm sure there was. Oops, I just hit a button. I did the studio tour in Rockefeller Center years ago, and I met Michael Phelps briefly on that tour. It was fun.
Rockefeller Center was on my list of places to go in the New York trip that I'm probably not going to get to do anymore that I had planned, because that's where Peter Venkman spins around in a circle when he asks out Anna Barrett. But I've always wondered, like, Rockefeller, who was that guy? Like, what was his deal? I know he's a Flintstones character now, but like in the real world, what did he do? Was he just like...
Wait, you only know him as a Flintstone player?
It was like, I don't know if he was... He's like in that class of like Henry Ford. I don't know his first name, but the Hearst guy that...
William Randolph Hearst?
That's it.
Yeah.
He's in that echelon. Because Hearst was like a land baron, I guess.
Hearst, if I remember right, I think Hearst was newspapers. Yeah, because that's who Charles Foster Kane is based off of.
Yes, sorry. Yeah. But it's like, they are often, I don't know if they're actually land barons, but they're often referred to them as that. But it's from, Rockefeller's from like that era of like new American money-ish.
I see.
Yeah.
And oysters.
Yeah, sure. I know nothing about it. I just know it's that era.
Yeah.
He's like the richest American of all time.
I don't know. I think Trump says he's the richest American of all time now. Because he can.
I'm not commenting on anything.
I'm pretty sure Trump thinks he's the richest Greek of all time.
World Farm Boy's here. Rachel's here. Michael's here. Stan's here. Pauline's here. Rachel's. Did I say Rachel? Rachel's here. Rebel Scum is here.
Who?
I don't know. Episode 165 tonight at 7.
Yes.
Episode 165. It's a good one. Brock.
Yeah.
You were in that one.
Yeah.
Top 5 Funko Pops we wish would get made.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna listen to that on my walk.
I was checking out Funko Pops today on the internet because I haven't really been buying them, and I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
And Gambit and Rogue from X-Men are out, and I'm like,
Ooh.
I really want that one. And I was like checking out Entertainment Earth, which is a good website, but like to get it shipped here to Canada is just like the shipping alone is insane. Don't talk about the exchange. Like the prices are okay, but like it's just like the shipping's ridiculous. Like I'll just not like just send it by mail.
Yeah.
But they're a good company. I just wish they would lower their prices.
I don't think
Kind of.
that might not
So
be their fault though.
Your top 5
Yeah,
is ones that don't exist that you want them to make.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then like halfway through, I realized I can't remember what all the Star Wars pops are because there's so many. And it's like, did they make this one yet?
And as I was writing the list, I was like, I'm not as creative as I need to be for this list.
I don't know if it's this month or next month, but they're finally making a Kingpin one, and I want that a bunch.
I think that one is out because that was like the 80s Marvel stuff they put out. And that one was specifically supposed to come out for the brick and mortar stores because they have a line of exclusives, specialty stores, which means like comic book stores or independent stores in general, right? Because like EB, GameStop, Hot Topic, Target are massive companies that like, you know, so they wanted to
give some love to the little guy.
Yeah, exactly. So that one came out. Yeah, I got. Oh man, those '80s ones were great. I got the Scarlet Witch, and I was like, "Ooh, baby."
Oh, wicked.
Yeah, they're good. Or not '80s. What am I saying? Retro. Because like the X-Men ones came out, and that's like the '60s. So I forget what it's called. But yeah, awesome, like line. The Kingpin one is mint.
Oh, he looks so cool. He's got his little angry eyes. He's up to no good. I want it.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Okay. I'm going to put you guys in camera for a second. I got to run away for 2 seconds. But Andrew, what Funko Pops would you want to see made that are made of Star Wars?
Oh boy. Okay. Again, like I'm in the same boat as you guys. I don't know what has been made and what hasn't been made. Okay. Have they made all 7 Knights of Ren?
Yeah. Yes. I think so, because that was a big thing just prior to the movie. And I only hesitate on like, which Knights of Ren? But I think they're just talking movie ones. I'm fairly certain they're all out. Yeah, I think so. They definitely put them out in the 3-inch figure. But I'm pretty sure you can get all of them now. I think it's in Pops, yeah. Why do you ask?
I'm just trying to think of what doesn't exist yet. And it's tricky with Star Wars because I feel like that's where Funko is the most prolific. It's like every variation of a Star Wars thing, Funko's been good with being like on top of it. Like just look how many Stormtrooper variants are behind you, Brock. And that's that's just the ones I can see in the frame of your camera. Like they have been very generous with the Star Wars stuff. So I would have to go like into Legends if I'm thinking of things that don't exist. Like I would think of like Mara Jade and like Exar Kun and like all those guys from back in the day that don't really exist anymore. I think I would choose those.
I think the problem is too, though, you can't really gauge how good they look on stuff from books. Even though we do have like art from like the covers and what have you, comics, it's like, you know what I mean? Like maybe I'm wrong. All the Marvel stuff's from comics as well, right? It's just, I don't know. I guess I didn't read a ton of Legends Star Wars, so it's not fresh in my mind, but you know what I mean? Like I think like Revan and Malik and what's the Sith Lord from the second Knights of the Old Republic?
Ooh, Nihilus. He's my favorite.
Like, I was like, Plagueis. I'm like, that's not it. I would recognize those pretty quickly, but yeah. But that's my perspective because, like, yeah. But Mara Jade, I think if I saw it said Star Wars on the box, I'd be like, oh, that's her.
Right.
She has a pretty specific look too. The red hair. There's always goggles. She's usually wearing like a tank top of some sort.
Yeah, and I think she had a purple saber too. Like she was always rocking one of those.
See, I wouldn't even know which colored. I'd be like, what?
Yeah, like Star Wars has been. They covered so much, and like every time a new thing comes out, like I'm pretty sure Rise of Skywalker has gotten more representation through Funko than it has through Hasbro. Unless I'm wrong.
Who makes the Black Series?
Hasbro.
Sorry, what reference are you talking?
I'm pretty sure when it comes to Rise of Skywalker, they've been represented more in Funko. Because like Hasbro still has not given us, as far as I know, like a Finn and Poe from that movie. They haven't given us like a Force Ghost Luke or Palpatine zombie version. Like there's so much of that movie that hasn't been covered by Hasbro yet, and I feel like Funko's on top of all those already.
Yeah, they made no toys for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's you know what? It doesn't feel as much as Last Jedi though. Because there was like a line that came out before the movie came out, and there was a line that came out directly, like for just talking Funko for like the last Skywalker, the Last Jedi. Yeah, I don't know what it is. That being said, I don't really want anything from Rise of Skywalker. You know what I mean? Again, that's my perspective. The things that excite me in that movie are like Babu Frick, and that came out immediately. You know, that was out before, like we were introduced to Babu Frick by a figure. I actually was thinking about it, like after playing Fallen Order. I want more characters than that because it's like finally getting through that story makes me appreciate Cal Kestis a lot more, in my opinion. So, and there's a lot of really cool characters, like. Even though she wasn't created for that game, like Ninth Sister, would be dope as an action figure. It's really interesting. Actually, I was reading his Instagram is listening to me constantly, so my feed had a lot of like Inquisitor stuff on it.
Ooh.
One of the Inquisitors that you meet in the comic at the same time as Ninth Sister is like I think a Padawan in the Mace Windu short series. I'm like, oh, cool! I never put those two together. And I guess, not that I read the whole Mace Windu one because it wasn't that interesting, but like I was like, oh, that's really neat. Again, like we talked about this on the podcast last night that will come out today. It's just like, or maybe it was the live stream. I can't remember anymore. It's just like that's the beauty of Star Wars, all these interwoven little things. And you're like, oh yeah, cool. Nice.
That's
very
awesome.
nice, very good.
Especially because I found the Mace Windu comic was so forgettable. Like I couldn't tell you a single thing that happened in that whole book. So if that's the case, if there's that little crossover, beautiful.
Yeah, I was like, sweet. It's almost like a gift for actually sticking it out with the series.
It's like, thanks for buying this so comic.
Yeah,
here's a connection.
Here's your payoff. My mic was off. Okay, guys, check this out. So, like in the summertime, I entered a contest on Twitter. And it arrived in the mail today, just in time for packages to be Lysoled. But I want to open
Damn, that's a long...
it is. Don't get too excited about the size of it. Size matters not. But I want to show you guys. I haven't opened it yet, so I'm using my DeWalt multi-tool here.
I knew you were going to show that.
I'm going to open it up.
I hope you open the box, and there's another DeWalt multi-tool inside.
That would be amazing. I'm just looking for sponsors, bro. Packaging.
Whoa, is that how it is? That's how you can just drop things.
Yeah. There's like 8 people watching right now. We got. So open up. Bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. And, got this package right here. Open it up.
I'm so intrigued. What's happening?
This is from, so I'll show you. It's Limited Run Games. If anyone that knows Limited Run Games. Like, there you go, Limited Run Games.
Huh.
And check this out right here. Look at this beauty. You guys see that? This is a NES Nintendo recreated NES version game with the vintage packaging, like figure that I won on their little Twitter contest. That's rad.
Holy crap.
Yeah, so rad. They have 6 of them in this style. There's Star Wars, the one that they sent me. The Game Boy Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back Game Boy, Shadows of the Empire N64, and Episode 1 Racer for N64 also. But I was lucky enough to win this Nintendo game, which is pretty sweet.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. So thank you, Limited Run.
That's so it's an actual working NES
Yes.
cartridge, but it's wrapped up like a toy.
Yeah, so if I put that in a Nintendo, it will work. And you could buy these on their sites and everything as well. They're limited, though. That's Limited Run game.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can get them. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, one in the summertime. I was like, oh, I guess they forgot about me. But here it is. My Star Wars.
What game's on it?
Star Wars for
Or nothing.
Nintendo.
Oh, like the original Star
Yeah,
Wars.
the original Star Wars. Yeah.
God.
So, but that's cool.
Oh, you said Pod Racer. I'm like, what?
No, so there's 6 games and you can buy them for limited time. They might all be
Okay.
sold out. But there's Star Wars for Nintendo and Game Boy, Empire for Nintendo and Game Boy, Shadows of the Empire for 64, and Racer for N64.
Gotcha. Yeah,
so cool.
I'm watching the stream and it's finally I can see what you're putting on the screen.
Well, I'm trying to show you guys on this
pixelated.
one, but it came with a card too with Limited Run on the back. Also.
It's your video to us is so pixelated that it's impossible.
Oh, that's
to tell
fine because
what
you guys are coming. You guys are in.
Why?
You guys are in like the clearest you've ever been to me right now.
Woo!
Yeah.
You can see all my blackheads.
All right, let's go into. Let's go to some trivia. Ready? Wrap it up with some trivia. We got 5 cards left until I got to open a new pet deck. Let me put my knife away.
5 card stud.
Yeah, I put the knife away before I stab myself. All right, here we go. Last 5 cards, all at random. Who said I will be Chancellor? Queen Amidala, Senator Teen, Senator Palpatine, Senator Antilles.
Trump.
Chancellor.
Oh, the food is very far behind, by the way.
Oh yeah, big time.
That's weird because you guys are coming in solid, and I'm getting green on OBS. I don't know what's going on.
You're in the woods.
I don't think it's that though. Like everything is super fast on my end.
Anyways, what's the
Who said I will be Chancellor? Queen Amidala, Senator Team, Senator Palpatine, or Senator Antilles?
I will be Chancellor. You know that famous line, I will be Chancellor. Is Valorum one of those?
No, he was already Chancellor.
But maybe there's a deleted flashback of when he's young and he becomes Chancellor.
I can't imagine why that ended up on the cutting room floor.
Actually, the chat isn't too far behind. So we got a lot of people saying A or Palpatine.
Yeah. Pauline says C. Rachel and Rural say A. Then Rachel changes and says Palp. Stan says Amidala. Rural Farm Boy says number 1 Palpatine. Here's a hint. I will be Chancellor. That's how it's said.
Is that the narrator from Jericho Kane's film?
How did you guess?
The answer, of course, is GVP, Palpatine.
Whoever narrated Jericho Kane's film, by the way, has silk-like vocal cords.
I watched it on
That's
the
all I'm
live
gonna say.
chat, and everybody was commenting about Andrew Fantasia's narrating. They're like, "Is this Andrew narrating?" And we're like, "Ugh." I was like, "I can't get away from this guy." Okay, here we go. You're in. You actually are physically in one of his short films, though.
That's right. Yeah, the Han Solo.
Yeah, Han Solo. Who do you play?
I forget what my character's name is. He's like he's basically a sort of scoundrel-ish, like mafia kind of figure that Han has an altercation with. And I got a cape. I got a red cape.
You do have a red cape. Yeah, he's working on that. He's building the Falcon right now. He sent me a video of the Falcon interior that he's building. It's pretty freaking nuts.
It looks wicked.
Yeah.
Him and his dad can build sets like pros. Like they are good looking sets.
Reham has a friend that does a lot of costume building, like a lot of masks and stuff, to the point that it's basically his career now, and he makes stuff for the Titans show.
Oh, amazing.
Wicked.
I'll just say this, Andrew, because I think, James, you've been to Fan Expo, but I think Andrew, you've been a little bit more times. He has a table there every year, and he's the one that usually has like the Ninja Turtle mask, and then like I think there's a few Star Wars things, but it's mostly like Batman and stuff. Anyways, the reason I bring it up is he's remodeling his basement into, I forget what it is. I want to say it's Butt 2 or something like that. But one of the doors is like Han in carbonite, and then there's also Yoda in carbonite, and like it all looks really cool. He even has like the little like just sconces of things, like where the robot eye comes out, but there's no robot eye, but like that sort of thing. Those little details of the walls. So it's interesting.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Oh, to have a skill.
But yeah.
Seriously. Who was the reigning champion of the Bunta Eve Classic Pod Race until Anakin Skywalker won? Who was the reigning champion of the Bunta Eve Classic Pod Race until Anakin Skywalker won?
Mario Andretti.
Mahonic, Rats Tyrell, Odie Mandrell, or Sebulba? Who was the reigning champion of the Bunta Eve Classic Pod Race until Anakin Skywalker won? Mahonic, Rats Tyrell, Otis Mandrell, or Sebulba?
I don't think Rats Tyrell has ever taken home a championship trophy. Sorry, Rats.
I wouldn't be so sure about that.
These are the Maple Leafs of pod racers.
I'm offended that Ben Quadinaros is not on here. Mm-hmm. The Leafs also have won the second most Stanley Cups, Andrew.
That's debatable.
Nope, that is a stat. Where's Ben Quadinaros?
I'm seeing some Sebulbas in the house.
He's the only one
Who voiced Sebulba? I'm looking that up.
I did. Voodoo.
Lewis McLeod.
What's his name?
Lewis McLeod.
Lewis McLeod.
He does a lot of voice acting for like video games too.
Cool. He was probably like in-house, and Lucas was like, "Let's get friends to do these voices."
Oh, he was in that one show I like. He was in Minions.
Like, that one show. Brock's like, I've liked one show, and he happens to be in it.
But I expected the response to be, "I have never heard of that," and I'm like, "Great."
Is it The Love Boat?
No, it's a show called Toast of London.
I know.
I've never heard of that.
I never heard of that.
I know Toast of London. Next question. Who was... Sebulba was the answer. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Toast of London is a British show, by the way. Who was the oldest member of the Jedi Council at the time of the Battle of Naboo? Ooh, time of the Battle of Naboo. Who was the oldest member of the Jedi Council? Size 18. These names. Adi Gallia, Oppo Rancisis, Yoda. Hate these names.
Oh.
Who was the oldest member of the Jedi Council at the time of the Battle of Naboo? Saesee Tiin, Adi Gallia, Oppo Rancisis, or Yoda?
Well, everybody's thinking of the answer. Here's a fun fact about Adi Gallia. Okay. In the Obi-Wan video game for Xbox, there's a mode where I forget what it's called. You just go into this big arena and all the Jedi of the Council, or at least like 8 or 9 of them, have like a free-for-all battle, and it's just like everybody versus everybody. And there was something up with the programming on Adigalia because she would never attack anybody but you. She would always run right at you. And like you would have to get rid of her first because you're like, she's constantly like swinging her laser sword at me. She was very annoying.
That's not fun.
No.
And she is not the answer.
No, you said it was a fun fact.
Everybody's
Here's a
guessing
boring
Yoda.
fact.
Everybody's
Yeah.
getting Yoda. Do you guys disagree?
I mean, Sicey Tin's no spring chicken, but
Yeah, it's Yoda. Here we go. Next card. Looking up. All right. How did Obi-Wan Kenobi feel about flying? How did Obi-Wan Kenobi feel about flying? He loved it. He hated it. He was indifferent. It depended on the situation.
This game.
or E, he has had it with these mother effing snakes on this mother effing plane.
I don't mind flying. I just don't like it when you fly. Something like that.
This is not the situation in which I like flying in. We should start doing like who will get these wrong.
Oh, I'm seeing a lot of flying hate in the chat. I feel like somewhere buried in the Clone Wars, there's a different answer to this, but I think hate is the right answer.
I would bet you that there's so. Brock, do you want to take a guess?
I mean, they have that conversation in Attack of the Clones, but like the conversation doesn't really fall in any of these answers.
Mhm.
There was the last one was like in a certain circumstances he likes it or something. Or what was D?
It depends on the situation. Rez has a comment for Andrew. Any more fun facts, Andrew?
I've got 3 more, and that's it. But you're gonna have to earn them.
Oh, fun is gonna go up to 10 today. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like D is the closest to that conversation, but I'll go D or whatever.
The answer is he hated it.
Okay.
Yeah,
but he flies, and then he fixes the
Yeah,
hard,
I
or he
know.
understands how to fix a hard drive in the first.
Why does it matter if he hates flying or not? Like, why does it matter?
Yeah, like I'm not a person that likes to drive my car for long periods of time, but I still know how to do it, right? Like it's
I liked that. I liked that there's like, here's this world where everybody is literally hopping in vehicles and going into space. I like the fact that there are people in it who are like, oh, I do not find this pleasant. I think that's really funny. Because I know me, knowing the way my body works, going into space would just make me vomit like a lot. So I would be one of those people.
There's a
no
fun
one
fact
wants
for
to
you,
know how
Rez.
your body works.
There's Rez's fun fact. I feel like in the Clone Wars, though, he's probably like, I don't hate flying. It depends on the situation. There's probably like that exact line in an
It
episode.
feels more like a slam of like, I just don't like your flying.
Mhm.
Which I've heard that conversation between my parents on trips to Florida.
Oh, trips to Florida, R.I.P.
Mhm.
Man, you really gotta cut these jokes.
What? It's not a joke. That's a fact. Also,
Florida's still open for business, technically.
Yeah, but you can't get past the border to get there.
Well, we'll see.
You will see. A rifle in your face.
See the way I drive.
Yeah, they'll be like, "Sir, why do you need to cross the border?" Cheez-Its. They are available
here now.
They're available here. I know. Remember, I sent you that picture of that skid. I was like, "Oh, Cheez-Its." All right, next question. Great accent, James. Thank you, Stan. What act was Senator Amidala fighting when she returned to Coruscant to speak to the Senate? What act was Senator Amidala fighting when she returned to Coruscant to speak to the Senate? The Military Insurgents Act, the Republic Armed Forces Act, the Military Creation Act, the Republican Military Act.
Here's a hint. She talks about it when she's packing her suitcase. And Anakin's all like, Obi-Wan doesn't listen to me. It's not fair. That scene.
The Sister Act.
Back in the habit.
My God, my God. Rachel, invasion.
Make me tell a lie.
Oh, jeez.
I love those nuns.
I wish Sister Act was more nuns on the run.
You can say whatever you want about the new Star Wars, but the fact that you just said it's the scene where they're packing their suitcases, and that was written by George Lucas.
Yeah, but don't forget, people hated that movie.
There are definitely points that like you maybe don't need to like everything.
I think I said this the minute, probably before we saw Force Awakens, maybe even the minute after we saw it. But George Lucas is, I will argue, more creative than anybody they hired to make a new Star Wars movie. However, you need to mix creativity with the talent that they had making the news. Like, just imagine all those minds together is what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Like, you imagine, and I made this argument with Wonder Woman, like Guardians of the Galaxy. I'll use this one. Guardians of the Galaxy was written by an intern at Marvel, right? Like the first draft, and then James Gunn took it and did the rewrites and blah, blah, blah. Then the second one was all him. And I feel like the second one's weaker than the first one. And it's like sometimes there's that one element that you need that you forget about moving forward. And this is what Wonder Woman 2 I'm thinking about. Like, they got rid of Zack Snyder, and who knows what his contribution to the first Wonder Woman was. It might have been the thing that, like, an aspect of it that is what you love the most about it. And it might be missing that. That's something that I always think about is, like, the original trilogy was George Lucas for the first one, but the next ones he had two other directors come in, right? And he had Gary Kurtz as producer, who was not Rick McCallum at all. Sometimes you just need to balance the scale.
I hope that intern at Marvel got like a bunch of credit because that was a wonderful movie.
Well, the thing is, the other
name was Kevin Feige.
No, I don't know, but she wrote. Apparently, what happened was just years ago they were just like, here's comics, write a script. And she didn't like superheroes, she liked science fiction. And that's why she picked Guardians of the Galaxy and wrote it. And like, who knows? Like, she still got a written by or story by credit. So I don't know how much of her is actually in there. But I think that there is enough that you feel in the second one.
No, I agree. When we did our Infinity rewatch on the first Guardians movie, and that'll be out eventually.
Yeah. Tomorrow night at 7 p.m. though on Detours, there's a special video on. But anyway, go on.
That's right. There's a special Infinity rewatch Detours thing. But when we did the Guardians of the Galaxy episode, Ryan and I kept bringing up just how like solid that script was in terms of just everybody's arcs and just how every beat from the first act, informed beats moving forward. Like, it was just really well crafted.
It was I don't know, Brock, how would you feel? Is that the most surprising of all the Marvel movies at how well produced it is?
I mean, yeah, because like no one cared about Guardians of the Galaxy prior to that, and they had like we're reading the reboot of the reboot of the reboot at that time that then gets turned into a movie. Like, I mean, Marvel's space has always been like very hit and miss, mostly miss. Mm-hmm. I mean, for every Infinity Gauntlet, Infinity War, whatever you want to call it, it's called the Infinity Gauntlet originally in the series or in comics. You get like, oh, here's I don't know.
Here's the Clone Saga.
Here's that terrible Nova. Like, it's like Nova is interesting. Adam Warlock is interesting in Infinity Gauntlet, but by themselves, they're like, hey.
Yeah, I remember when the trailer dropped for, or was it trailer or was it when we heard about it? I was like, Brock, what is this? And you're like, there's a talking raccoon.
I cannot believe they're making this.
Yeah, and I remember Rob was like disgusted. He's like, I can't believe they're making that. And then that trailer dropped and it changed our lives.
Rocket wasn't even that big of a deal in the comics. Like that's the wild part. But
I think that's
like,
also
oh look, it's a raccoon with a gun.
that's pretty. It ended up working out. Anyway, that I don't know. Sometimes you forget about where the soul comes from certain things. I don't know how this. Oh, the suitcases. But yeah, if you mix George Lucas with like Ryan Johnson with J.J. Abrams, maybe you get our heads might explode. It might be so good. We don't know. Or maybe it's the worst. Maybe it's the worst thing ever. They're so conflicting. How did Anakin Skywalker feel about seeing Senator Amidala again after so many years? This is a good one.
Hold on, I don't think you told them the answer to the act.
Oh yeah, the Military Creation Act is what we got off topic there fast. The Military Creation Act.
So boring.
What act was Senator Amidala fighting when she returned to Coruscant to speak to the Senate? It is the Military Creation Act.
Cool. Axe body spray.
How did Anakin Skywalker feel about seeing Senator Amidala again after so many years? How did Anakin Skywalker feel about seeing Senator Amidala again after so many years? He found it disagreeable. He found it intoxicating. He was polite but impartial. He felt like a child.
No.
He found it disagreeable.
How did Anakin... Sorry, go.
There is a scene in Attack of the Clones that I noticed when I rewatched it recently, and it's just, I think, prior to them going to Tatooine, because he has a dream. So it's like early morning, and they're standing on a veranda in like what looks like the clothes they wore to bed. And I'm like, this is like, wow, this is very intimate. Did they just smash? Like, what is happening? I was like, I don't care for this at all.
Well, how else do you think they made Luke and Leia?
Yeah, there's no Stork planet. Yeah, there's no Stork planet.
There might be.
Yeah. Still like
Star Storks. How did Anakin Skywalker feel about seeing Senator Amidala again for the first time after so many years? He found it disagreeable. He found it intoxicating. He was polite but impartial. He felt like a child. Brock, what do you say?
He felt like a child.
Andrew?
I think he was intoxicated.
Oh, that's why.
I find it intoxicating. As
I'm
they say, like,
where he's like, I'm not a boy anymore.
Yeah, I think
Look
he
at
says,
this D.
Look at this.
I find her intoxicating. All right,
You're
let's rifle
exactly
through.
the way I remember you in my dreams.
Let's rifle through a few more.
Yeah.
And then I gotta go. Soup's on. I gotta go to work, actually. Who held...
You work?
Huh?
You work at a soup factory.
I work at a soup factory. No soup for you. Yeah. Who held sole authority over the mysterious Red Guard? What? Okay. Who held the sole authority over the mysterious Red Guard? Masameda, Dark Walk, Chancellor Palpatine, Sly Moore. Who held sole authority over the mysterious Red Guard? Masameda, Dark Walk, Chancellor Palpatine, Sly Moore.
Who are the Red Guard?
I feel like the Imperial Red Guard. I don't know.
Yeah, it's gotta be.
I feel like it's gotta be that one.
They only show up in the prequels in Episode 3, so I gotta go with Palpatine.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how mysterious they are. We know all their names and backstories and favorite foods.
I think...
Yeah, they're like the Knights of Ren of the prequel.
Dizzy says the Senate. That's 100% the right answer.
Absolutely.
Plus extra credit.
Yeah. I imagine if the original trilogy is coming out today and we're all like, Return of the Jedi's coming, like, look at those Red Guards. I bet you I know what they're going to do. Their backstory is probably amazing.
Can't wait to see them Red Guards do some cool shit.
No, it's not Praetorian Guards, Rachel. These are just the Red Guard. Because it predates Praetorian by about 50 years. Anyways, Palpatine, yeah. Good job, everybody. Actually, it's the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
Where
he is the Senate.
He is this. Is he the Senate at this point? Yes.
Yeah.
Where did Senator Amidala speak? To Master Yoda, about the attempt on her life? Where did Senator Amidala speak to Master Yoda about the attempt on her life? The Jedi Temple, the main Senate chamber, Chancellor Palpatine's office, the landing platform.
I think there was a deleted scene where they went to Chili's.
Imperial Red Guard fun fact, Andrew. That's from...
Okay, Earl, I'll give you a fun fact. The first Red Guard to ever show their face on camera was named George. That scene got cut, but George named it after himself, and he played the guard. And he literally just waved as the camera panned by. But Richard Marquand cut the scene for obvious reasons.
Where did Senator Amidala speak to Master Yoda about the attempt on her life? The Jedi Temple, the main Senate chamber, Chancellor Palpatine's office, the landing platform.
Palpatine's office.
Mm-hmm. What a swank office that was. I missed that set.
They use it a lot.
Yeah, they did.
So we got some landing platform as well. Landing platform is where Typho says there's been an attempt on her life. And that's when...
Imagine if we had gotten to see that set, like how we got to see the Death Star and Rise of Skywalker. Like we just saw like a crumbled cityscape of Coruscant, and like Kylo goes there and he's like, "Oh, this was the old Palpatine office. But I do." And like, that would have been dope.
Might have got that if they asked the why. So landing platform, Palpatine's office. You guys both say Palpatine office. The answer is survey says Chancellor Palpatine's office.
Whoa! Ba-ba-ba-da. Ba-ba-ba-da.
Forgotten facts with Fantasia. New segment.
Ooh, I like that. We're making that happen, Rachel.
Whether we like it or not. And our final question today. Where did Anakin Skywalker receive instructions to protect Senator Amidala on her journey to Naboo? Where did Anakin Skywalker receive instructions to protect Senator Amidala on her journey to Naboo? The Jedi Council Chamber, the Jedi Temple Training Veranda, Chancellor Palpatine's office, Senator Amidala's apartment.
I don't remember.
Instructions.
Where did Anakin Skywalker receive instructions to protect Senator Amidala on her journey to Naboo? The Jedi Council Chamber, the Jedi Temple Training Veranda, Chancellor Palpatine's office, Senator Amidala's apartment.
If I had to guess, I'm going to say the Jedi Council Chamber. I feel like Mace is like, go protect that senator who you totally want to have sex with. Nothing can go wrong. Yeah, that's my guess.
We have a couple temples, a chamber, Amidala's apartment. Stan Solo, I have no idea. A Royal Farm Boy saying council chamber. Apartment, council. Okay, was her apartment? You copy off my paper, Carl. You shouldn't copy off of Rez's paper. It's wrong. It's the correct answer is the Jedi Council Chamber.
Woo!
Jedi.
I feel like when they made this game, someone was just watching the movie and I was just like, yeah, that's a question. Like, what shoes is he wearing? Shoes, yeah, because people love the shoes in this movie.
How many meters is Jimmy Smith's?
What color eyes are Jimmy Smith's eyes?
Thank God we know the answer, because not knowing Jimmy Smith's in meters was killing my groove.
Yeah, I know. I couldn't sleep. There was a couple nights where I had trouble sleeping, so it works. All right, this is our live stream for Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. We'll be back. How are you guys holding up with your isolations? You guys still good?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm hanging in there. I'm replaying the Zeldas.
Ooh, which one?
Right now I'm on Twilight Princess.
Oh.
I just got the ability to warp whenever I want. So the bad guys, you're screwed. Coming for you.
Have you ever played Skyward Sword? That's the one I never played.
Yeah,
Like-
you're not missing a whole lot.
No, I hear, but like, there's like all these characters I'm not sure of that come from that one, and I'm like, maybe.
If you're okay with having to like keep changing batteries in your Wiimote all the time and swinging that thing around like a dork, then you'll have a good time, but you won't have as dense and epic a time as you usually have with Zelda.
Yeah.
Zelda
I was
games sometime.
I was watching I was listening to a podcast where we were talking about post-apocalyptic video games and like what would you do with Nintendo characters, and the host was like, well, pretty well all Zelda games are post-apocalyptic when you think about it. And I'm like, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild is full on like, oh, good
Yeah.
morning, what's this? The world is over.
Wind Waker, it's like there was a huge flood.
Yeah.
So yeah. Ocarina of Time, you actually go to a nightmare hellscape.
All right, guys.
So-
Thanks so much. Thanks everybody in the chat for joining us tonight. Episode 165 at 7 p.m. Tomorrow, 7 p.m. on Rebel Scum RSPN Detours. Andrew will be there with a Infinity rewatch special. But until tonight, and until then, until tomorrow, we will see you later. We hope you will. We hope the force is with you. And Brock, you are always scum.
Rebel Scout.